What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of GeekCypha. We are live. I just realized that I hadn't posted on my socials that we're doing the show.
Blasphemy.
I know I haven't been.
You're the social
Dude,
guy.
I usually have been pretty good with it. Give me a breath.
I mean, I'm just heckling you because I'm assuming you're doing it somehow not live now. So I don't want to be part of the heckling when you're.
You're
posting.
always trying to heckle me.
I am. I'm white like that. It's fine.
This man said I'm white like that. This man said I'm white like that. What's up, Ness?
I just want to say I am not sweating. The sun is just like right on my face, so I look.
Like I said before, the sun is setting. The sun.
I didn't notice anything until now. I saw the sweltering heat coming straight off. No, it's just.
She has, yeah. So for those of you who are listening to this, Ness has what is obviously a perfect seat for a sunny day, but when you're doing the podcast, it potentially is not the best because the sun is just like, and it's giving you this cool split look.
I was about to say, it's like she has like a two-face thing going on. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say the Star Trek where they're like white on one side, black on the other. Yeah.
I'm happy that I have a sunny apartment, but unfortunately, when the sun's going down, that's when it's right on me.
Yeah. No, I get that. The sun at my place is in the back, so it's this is gonna be a mess. I'm trying to get my phone to stay up while I'm streaming. Oh, there we go. That was actually way easier than I thought.
It's like, oh, this is gonna be so hard.
This is gonna be so complicated. No, it's right there. It did it in 2 seconds. We are live. We are live. Welcome to another edition. And we're just chilling. Dave is here at my place, causing a ruckus.
That's how I do.
I wasn't here when he came, and he was sitting in the back, and I was just like, okay, so I gotta ask you, Ness.
Here, let him in.
Let him in.
Someone's in.
Sorry, what'd you say?
He's here.
Oh, Skinny's here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's true. It hides the guests below this little framing. Guys, I'm using Streamlabs, and it hides people. I can't see everyone, which is unfortunate. Sorry, Skinny. Welcome. You're not going through your mic, though. It sounds like you're going through your camera, not through your microphone.
Oh, excuse me. Let me change
that.
That is very much what's happening.
So, for those of you who are tuned in, episode 414. It's kind of crazy when you think about how many goddamn episodes. 414 episodes.
What?
2017, 7 years. Wait, no, 8 years?
We be running.
8 years at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was February. Oh no, that's when I started doing radio at Concordia. So I don't remember exactly when we started doing the podcast because we started doing it as a separate section of the end of my old hip hop show.
I'm trying to remember.
Way before my time.
Way before everyone's time. It was my hip hop show back in the day, like way back.
No, I mean like you guys been doing GeekCypha way before I joined.
Oh yeah.
No, but you are family now.
I joined GeekCypha because they technically interviewed me first.
Yeah, so I interviewed when they were they still are Squared Idea.
Yeah.
I had Squared Idea on my radio show to interview Mike, Chris, and Dave, and then Dave and I started like geeking out on comic books at a level that I was like, oh, he actually knows his ish. Like this guy knows comic books. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, let's see. And then we had him on the show, and then we did That's Canon and all that stuff. Yeah.
So. Nice.
So is this better?
Yeah, you're back. You're
no longer in the can.
You're in the zone.
Someone plugged it into the wrong USB. I was like, what, the blood? No.
I like you say someone in your office.
He's trying to passively say like it might be some Rugrats who may have been just playing around and may have been like, ooh, this works.
No, it was my wife. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh.
Under the bus.
You're right.
It's funny because I'm guessing your kids probably know how to set up audio equipment better than most people.
My kids know not to be in this room. That's what they know. Unless dad's in here, they know not to be in here. Do not touch. That's why you see Lonnie creeping in here every time I do the pod because she's just like, yeah, she'll just be on like her mom's phone watching whatever on YouTube because she wants to be in here. But they know how to set up some things. Like they're familiar with Metal Gear Solid and they're like 4 and 2, so maybe that's maybe a thing. But
well, that's like
I feel that's more impressive than the other thing.
I was saying recently, and I want to say shout outs to Mike, yo, good, and then shout outs to Lee J. When I was 5, my dad had taught me how to like splice cassettes and stuff. So that's like one of those weird things that I just remember doing when I was a kid.
Was your dad having you watch Lethal Weapon 2 at 4? Because that's.
I mean, no, we've had that conversation. That was just Quebec. Quebec just had
Labatt 50 and Lethal Weapon. That's what we did.
Yeah, TQS and TVA. If you guys are from outside of Quebec, those are 2 stations. They're French Canadian stations, government funded, that just showed French versions of American movies all the time, any time of day on the weekend. You would see Ski School. Yeah, you would see movies like Ski School, which is a rated R movie with nudity, middle of the day.
Yeah.
Boobies out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aren't we like the only province in Canada that allows like rated R movies for 16-year-olds?
Yeah, we don't have them. They're all PG-13. No, only.
No, I think it's 16. I think it's 16.
Oh yeah, we'll
do. 16-year-olds can go to rated R.
Yeah, rated R movies in the U.S. and the rest of Canada are
18.
rated 16 here, 16 plus in Quebec.
Yeah.
Which
That's insane.
Don't get.
I think I remember because Showgirls was like accessible, not to me, but yeah.
Skinny,
hold on. Immediately. This is a good example, but horrible.
Randomly throwing out Showgirls was not accessible to me, as in you tried and could not get in. It's so funny.
As a teenage boy, I'm not surprised.
Wait, hold on. You mean I'm not?
We all tried. I just you outed yourself. Is what I was saying.
I'm not trying to see the girl that's not Tiffany D'Ambert Thiessen and the other one, the sporty girl. Not
Kelly. Oh, Kelly Kapowski. No, not Kelly Kapowski. What was the best friend's name? Lisa. No, isn't Lisa Turtle the black girl?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
No, that's not the black girl that was in Showgirls.
No, I mean, but I'm talking about. I don't know her name. I'm just saying the girl, the sporty one that was with Slater. You hear she's going to be in a movie called Showgirls, you're going to go see that. Or you're going to try to see it. Me, personally, pay-per-view was just super late, and they would always unscramble the shit like halfway through the movie. You're like, here you go, and that's it. That movie really wasn't that good. Compelling story, but I mean, yeah. You know.
Was it really compelling?
Oh, Jessie. She played Jessie. Yo, the fact that I could not remember her name, I was like, Lisa, Kelly. Yeah. I was like, what's the other girl's name?
Exactly.
Damn.
And that's why she had to do Showgirls. There you go. There you go. That's why she did Showgirls.
Is that the title? That's why she had to do Showgirls? No one remembered her. That's why
she shot her shot and she failed. She broke her ankles on the dismount. She sunk the boat.
She did. She did. That movie. Yeah.
But then we also got Striptease with Demi Moore, and that movie was
not much better. Showgirls had the better story. Showgirls had the better story.
Sir, you watched those for the story?
Fam.
Like that, I want to insert that Will Prout meme where he's like, "Y'all watch the story?" Like,
and I'm gonna throw this back at you. You see it 8 times. After a while, you start paying attention to the script.
8 times.
Oh man.
Well, what? You're not getting the whole movie in one pay-per-view showing. So
you could have scrambled.
Yeah, so you're gonna catch.
I was about to say, like, dude, you're really trying hard to like keep it for the spank.
The best part is
my French for Janessa. Like,
yeah, the best part is Ness has no clue about the Ness. When you grew up, they didn't have this thing where the upper channels were just the pay-per-view channels scrambled all the time, right? Like when you were a kid, you didn't just
when we had real cable.
I don't. Like, okay. So when we were kids and you watched TV, you didn't have a cable box. Usually the cable went straight into the TV, and then you had like a remote, like one of those thing remotes, or the TV itself had a remote so you could click through the channels. And then you would get to the upper channels of your TV, and the upper channels would just be like the regular, like pay-per-view
channels or pay-per-view.
Yeah, it'd be all those channels would be there. If you paid, you had access to them. If you didn't pay, they were just scrambled. They were encoded
in negative colors too.
Oh,
and sometimes it's in negative colors. Yeah.
So sometimes
negative colors. I remember.
Yeah. So sometimes what would happen is it would just randomly turn clear, like it would unscramble just randomly by itself.
Yeah.
So sometimes what you would do is like I did watch the movie National Lampoon Senior Trip multiple times, like Skinny's describing, like maybe 4 or 5 times on my like TV to try and watch the whole movie in segments where it would unscramble for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time. That's how I watch National Lampoon Senior Trip. I've never seen that movie in its entirety in one shot. I've only ever seen it in weird clips and out of order because you don't know when it's gonna descramble. So I've watched the middle, then another day watch the beginning, then another day watch the end and all the pieces.
Because what would happen would be for either they would unscramble it to get to the preview channel, because when it wasn't playing a movie, it would have preview channels where it would just run through the trailers of the films over and over and over again that I have available on pay-per-view. But usually nearing the ending of the last showing and the beginning of the top one, it would just unscramble, because back then
previews,
you couldn't really sync it perfectly, so they would just end up unscrabbling the last like 15 to 25 minutes of a film, and then you'd catch it like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These are the things of the 80s and 90s.
It's a shame you never saw
complicated.
Senior Trip fully. That's
I mean, I've seen Senior Trip, and I've seen the whole movie. I just never sat and watched National Lampoon Senior Trip from beginning to
I'm
end.
saying that's a shame. It's a good enough movie that it merits that.
But I've seen it. Go ahead, ask me about a scene.
I've seen Tank Girl like that. I've never seen Tank Girl like that. I saw Tank Girl scrambled. Yeah. Negative colors and all.
That's so funny.
Like when Homie died, I don't know which kangaroo it was. I was like, it's not iced tea. Awesome. Okay.
Honestly, Ness, the hustle and grind of the 90s kid was real.
So
we really we really set the bar. We were really just weird kids. We were goons, is what we were.
Straight up.
We were raised by goons.
Yep.
I ain't calling my mom a goon.
I'm calling my dad a goon.
I ain't calling my mom a goon. That was a nice pause. You're like, nah, I can't do that. Sorry.
You thought about that. You thought about that.
Doesn't have to be
as soon as he said it, I was just like, nah.
No. It doesn't have to be both your parents. I'm just acknowledging I know which one mine was. Love you, Dad.
What? Yeah, it's almost Father's Day. This man out here calling his father a goon.
What's up? Papa.
So funny.
You just throw it back at me.
Oh man.
So what did we all do this week? What have you guys been up to lately? What's been the vibes? How's your lives?
I watched Lilo and Stitch.
Live action?
How was that?
Live action.
I watched the original Lilo and Stitch for the first time only a week ago because I'd never seen it.
I only saw it like 2 months ago.
Yeah. I know. I know. Remember, we were full-grown adults when that came out. It wasn't like
it did not make sense to me.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Don't tell me you don't watch animated films.
I do.
I don't. Hold on.
A certain understanding.
Yeah, I don't watch Disney animated films as an adult.
Wait, you haven't seen Lilo and Stitch, the original?
I only just saw Lilo and Stitch a week ago, and I don't watch Disney I watched Inside Out because Inside Out was a description of Psyche. I watched Soul.
Please tell me you at least watch Pixar.
Let's go.
Yeah, I watched the Pixar stuff ish,
which is Inside Out.
Yeah, I guess I've watched most of the Pixar ones, but there's a run of Disney from after Lion King and stuff that I didn't watch any of those. I just watched Treasure Island. Or Treasure Planet.
I still haven't seen that.
I just watched Treasure Planet in the last 2 months because my cousin in the UK was just like, you have to watch this one because it's her favorite. Because I think she was
that popular. I feel like
that. No, I don't think it's. I think it.
Well, it's like Titan AE.
I feel like it really is a factor of the kid, like how old the kid is.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, because but Treasure Planet came out 2002.
Yeah, I just want to real quick show this. Thank you, sir. As a barber, I love the men's cams. I get to see every stage of beard growth. Thank you. I have been trying with the beard. Shout outs to the homies at Colors, Greg, for the lessons on how to maintain because the growth's been real. But anyways, go back to Pixar. Why is Skinny is giving me the weirdest look right now. Hey man, in 2019 I had a beard that was longer than this that I could hold, and I shaved it for the pandemic. Oh, yeah. So I always get mad when I think about how long my beard had been, and then I haven't been able to get it back to that point. So,
but that's just dedication of not cutting.
Says a nigga who can grow a high top fade in what at 40? What? Stop it.
I'm 42.
You know how 42. George Jefferson bald I am without any kind of trim up or anything. You know what kind of ridiculous human I look like? Yeah. Shut up about your beard.
I mean, it's
He doesn't wanna hear it.
scared.
it's okay. Anyways, let's go back to start talking Disney Pixar.
I don't
Right,
get
let's
compliments
hear it,
about
let's
my beer. I never let go. I get nothing.
But when you faded the sides, we said, so I don't know if anyone remembers, but I remember when Dave said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fade the sides and leave the top," and I was just like, "Oh, don't do that, man." Like, we were all like, we were teasing it. We're like, "Nah, homie, don't do it." And then you came in the first time, and we are like, "Shit, this shit look dope." It's funny, like this dude.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
There's no. I literally am going to my barber tomorrow, which is the only reason why I look scruffy today, because I'm like, I'm not doing the work. He can do everything.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Like,
The day before I go to see Greg, I'm always just like, man, should I fix because you know how it gets like the little hairs start to grow around the mustache, and you're like, oh man, I gotta go to work today. I'm looking nasty out here. I gotta clean, and I'm like, nah, they can deal with the ugly Brian for a day.
That's all
It's gonna look nice and fresh in 2 days. Don't worry, they get the full show once he's cleaned it up. So
It's worth it.
how you gotta go.
I also went shorter this time than last time, which I was a little nervous about. But anyways, back to Disney. Let's go back to Disney. So the Disney run after Lion King and stuff in the 90s, I didn't really watch any of that
What
stuff.
came after that, like Mulan and them things?
Yeah, I didn't watch Mulan in theaters.
Tarzan never watched.
I didn't watch Tarzan in theaters.
Tarzan last year.
Oh.
That's the trash movie.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've seen Tarzan. If you're being honest, you're not wrong.
I've never seen Hercules.
I never saw Hercules.
They do
Never
Hercules?
saw
I never saw Hercules in theaters. I never seen Hercules. I've never seen Emperor's New Groove.
Never.
Yeah, neither have I.
So
But
that,
you know-
yeah,
but you know
that
what?
whole run, Ness, I'm telling you, we didn't see them.
But you want to know why? I know
I
the reason
love
why.
Emperor's New Grooves. One of
It's
my,
because
I know a lot of people love it. Eartha Kitt too. Shout outs,
one of
Eartha
my
Kitt.
like top comfort movies.
Wow.
Yeah, I hear it's fantastic, and I did watch episodes of the cartoon, but I never.
I
watched.
watched the cartoon, but I never caught the movie.
But
Same
the
with
reason
Hercules.
why that happens for all
Yeah.
of us is
Yeah.
because basically we
I guess
because
you guys
we're
were
all
getting
similar in age.
older.
It's
Yeah, we
that-
age
it's,
out.
It's that we got to a point where it's like, okay, we're like old enough that it's like, I don't want to watch cartoons right now. I'm being like,
Right,
older,
yeah.
and then there's like that gap period, and then there's
Well-
like, I'm adult. Fuck this. I love all this stuff. I'm gonna
No,
go
but I
back
think
to
as you
it.
get older, it's the same thing for me with like Disney. Like as you get older, you start missing all the like
Yeah,
as you know, you're not gonna watch every single kids movie that comes out. So I get it.
for me, I can actually pinpoint it. It's as soon as I wanted to start asking girls to movies, I wasn't gonna ask them to see. I wasn't gonna ask them to see Disney movies. So there's a like
Not a kids movie.
the hard pivot to like, hey, you like. Actually, there's probably a crack in the voice because you're like 13. Hey, you want to go see this new Matrix movie that's coming out? And meanwhile, you're just like the theater next door is playing a Disney movie. You're like, what could have been? And you like put your hand out. Remember?
No, not when you're comparing it to Matrix. I'm sorry. Like, choose another.
I mean,
film.
I was
choose another.
again.
film.
You're like a child. You don't know that the Matrix is going to be a good movie. What do you know
It
about
all-
good movies? That's
the first Matrix at every single point of its induction into the world looked good. There was never a point that movie. In
I didn't say it didn't look good.
bad.
I just said at that age, the Disney movies speak as loud to your soul as an action movie would, because you're
Fair.
still a young
Alright.
kid,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like we were
Yeah.
saying, it's those
Okay.
comfort movies from when you're young that you're
Mhm.
just like, you know, Matrix is a good comfort movie now, but I don't necessarily need to see everyone's neck getting snapped. Maybe I could see a Pegasus flying and saving the day.
I have
And
the
being
exact
okay with
cutoff as to which when we three of us stopped watching Disney films.
Hit us.
Go.
November 12th, 1995.
What's your
What?
reference?
Well, hold on. That
Yeah,
man,
what's
he hit
your
us with
reference?
such a hard
Yeah, yeah.
date. Okay, November
Because
12th.
You're not like one of those people who are like this year or whatever. You're like,
I know
it's
it dropped
a
on
month.
November 12th, 95.
Well, hit us.
Hey,
I mean, you
you're
got the
there.
stage.
I'm
You
like
got the
trying
answer.
to-
You answer the question. I don't want to assume your answer. I'm not going to feed you your
Ness-
answer. to me.
Nesta knows you caught the assignment.
What are you making us Google?
What?
There?
Like, what is this jumping through?
Apollo
I think
13?
you're a poser.
Apollo 13, she says. I love that. No.
See? So exactly. So why don't you just tell us?
Sorry, I was wrong. It's
That's
November
frustrating.
22nd, 1995. My bad. And
Wait,
Oh, you gave the wrong date.
You
Now he's changing the script. Now he's just
Okay.
messing around.
Skinny.
Why don't you tell us the event? I'm not playing your. I've read your book, you sick bastard. I'm not playing the game no more. Just tell me what it is.
Skinny gave the wrong date.
Making people sweat and shit and go research it and
I
whatnot.
guess it's
Get
a
out of here.
movie.
she was
Which
almost
movie?
there. Apollo 13 is something that we all did watch, but
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's
It
why
was
I was
Toy
like,
Story.
okay, I guess that's what
That
it
is-
It was what?
Toy Story.
Oh,
You're saying because Pixar took over.
No,
the
but
lead,
that's
so
the
you-
last one we all collectively watched in theaters.
yes, that is fair. for
After
sure.
that, literally, I'm gonna run the next 4 after. You guys are gonna be like, I didn't see that.
I don't think I saw Toaster in theater, but it is one that I.
The one right after that,
Yeah.
April 12th, 96, James and the Giant Peach. Nigga, nobody saw that.
No, I didn't see that shit.
I did,
Hunchback
but
of
it's
Notre
not that great.
Stop it. Hunchback
did.
of Notre Dame.
Oh!
June 21st, 1996.
Yeah,
Hercules,
yes.
June 27th, 97.
Yeah.
Mulan, June 19th, 98.
Yeah.
And
So
then
What was
Bugs
number
Life.
2?
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame was the last Disney movie that I remember thinking, oh, like that's the one where I was saying if it was like, I know Matrix didn't come out the same year, but whatever the movie I was asking a girl to go see, and it was like Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those were the two movies, and it was just like that. I specifically remember being like, oh, I'm not going to see Hunchback. I'm going to ask her to go see
I
like
saw Hunchback, the
whatever.
previews, and I
That's
was
actually
like, that's
good
what you guys
taking
have? Remember seeing Hunchback and you guys were like, really, guys? This
Yeah.
is
I've actually to date I've never seen that movie.
I don't think I've seen it either.
It's whatever. It's like, what was that movie that Fox tried to drop at the same time? Anastasia?
Yeah.
Nobody cared about fucking Anastasia.
How can you even remember?
Did you guys
Anastasia?
do you guys realize Anastasia is now a Disney film? Like it's owned by Disney
Oh yeah.
because Disney bought Fox.
The only good thing, the only good competitive movie you probably ever gave,
And so
now we own it.
Anastasia retroactively Disney princess.
Princess. Wow.
That's wild.
wow.
So weird.
What was that even about?
Nothing.
The Russian princess who is the last of the Romanovs family.
Or that.
Just kidding. Or that.
Or that.
Brian knows that weird one. Yeah.
But like, what she's running away from being.
So they kill the Russian family. And the last daughter, Anastasia, I think the story is that she got away. And the movie is about her escaping. In real life, I don't think she got away. I think she actually is dead, but I don't know.
Yeah, she got lived. Yep.
Fun times. Dead princesses. That was a weird pivot.
So let's talk about Rick and Morty. I think that's a good pivot.
Oh, that's still on. Let's go. I was actually asking my wife the other day about that
We've
show.
been watching that so much recently.
Oh, Rick and Morty?
Morty?
Yeah.
Oh, Ness, the
Oh.
face you have is similar to how I feel.
Yeah.
Ness, what are your opinions on Dan Harmon? Let us start with that.
Bro.
Wait, we just skipped Lilo and Stitch like that?
Oh, sorry.
shit.
we can go
No,
back.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, we'll go back.
Tangent.
Lilo and Stitch first. I'm down. Is it true? Okay.
Is it compared?
Let's start the segment properly. Guys, welcome to our View the Right Thing segment. We're going to be talking about stuff that we've checked out and films, movies, comic books, anything that we've watched, read, enjoyed recently. I'm going to be talking about Doctor Who. Dave's going to be talking about Rick and Morty, and Ness is going to start us off with Lilo and Stitch, a live action version of the film, a remake of the film that came out in 2006, 2004,
4, maybe 2.
I
Nope.
don't
No.
remember.
Not that
We're the
far.
bad. We're the worst.
I think it's 20 years ago.
Lilo and Stitch 2002.
2002.
Oh my god! Okay,
2002. Wow, they're good.
2002. So yeah, so to 23 years later. Bong.
That's-
Okay, so Ness, hit us. 23 years later, after the original, which I just saw only a week ago. Lilo and
Can't
Stitch.
believe you.
Ohana family. Ohana means family. No one gets left behind.
That's your Stitch, bro? Really?
That's, is that bad? Is that bad?
Did you see the
No.
movie?
I mean,
yeah, it's like,
that was good.
That was
I have
good.
kids.
That
They make
was
me do
good.
it.
But I mean, when I was doing it when he talks. Is it any more?
No, he still talk. Yeah, he talks with like. I can't even do it to be honest.
Ohana family. No one gets left behind.
Oh,
that
that's better.
last part was
Okay,
very good.
thank you,
That
thank
was
you.
very
That was
good.
good. That was good.
Shout outs to all the random kids who are overhear this podcast in the background of their parents or while they're in the car. That was for you.
What's happening?
So Lilo is live action.
I liked it.
I've heard. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I've heard bad
I
things.
heard. Yeah, I was gonna say I heard a lot of mixed reviews. a
Okay,
lot of,
yeah.
like, disappointment, I guess. But
Yeah.
maybe because my expectations were so low,
Mm.
I enjoyed it.
So I heard they made one of the major. So spoilers. Let me put that on the screen because I know people are gonna.
What the complaint is.
I'm gonna put that on the screen because I've heard a very specific complaint from fans, and I don't want us to. Damn it! Where the hell is the spoiler on this thing?
That general with the cool face. What's his name?
Oh, that too. But I was actually talking about. So I'm gonna add this to the screen. I heard that in this version, from the original version,
Mhm.
that they changed Nani quite a bit,
Right.
people are really upset with Nani's motivation, like the character motivation, because Nani's
Sister?
whole the sister, older sister, her whole motivation in the original one is she needs to keep Lilo. She doesn't want to
Right.
separate from her sister. All like everything is about keeping her sister. And in
Yeah.
this new one, I heard like people are really upset because they keep saying like my Nani would never do this, and I was like, oh, okay, what does she do?
Wait.
I'm curious, as someone who just heard that and has seen the film, before Brian says whatever it is, can you guess what that is? Based off of you.
What did Nani do? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think it's because she doesn't end up. Actually, let me ask. In the Lilo and Stitch original, because I don't
Yeah.
remember. In
Yeah.
the end,
Yeah.
what happens with her and Lilo?
They all their whole
it's
family.
the families all together.
All
The,
together.
the aliens say
She
that.
keeps Lilo?
Yeah, the aliens say that Stitch gets to stay with this family,
Okay.
and she's referring to Lilo, to Nani and Lilo.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
they like cut to the post credit, not the post credit, but to the credits, and it's all pictures of
Like they're like
Lilo,
after the
Nani,
fact.
and the boyfriend David.
Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, because I didn't see this opinion, it sounds like people have an issue because in the original she was fighting to keep Lilo, and in
Yeah.
this one she was still fighting to keep Lilo, but in the end she got to go to school
What?
to become a marine biologist
Oh.
And she leaves her sister with who?
with her their like family friend neighbor that lives next door.
Oh,
What? What?
I don't know how to. It's a
I'm
long
sorry.
story, but like
your
someone
sister is not
No,
a
no,
basket you
she-
just leave in a guest's
I
house.
don't
Like,
remember if it's like the aunt
Yo,
or if
fam,
it's just
watch
a
this for a
family
couple months.
friend. Hold on. a
yeah,
second.
yeah.
Oh,
But
the alien
essentially-
too.
Exactly.
Essentially,
That's
someone that they live next to their whole lives. Like she knows them really well. She's like an older lady, kind of like an aunt figure. Auntie,
but Lilo
like,
is
grandma
not
figure.
growing up with Nani.
She is in the movie, but in the end, she
No,
got
that's what I'm saying.
sent to go to school, and Lilo
And
and
she
Stitch
chose-
are adopted by like her aunt or whatever.
How dare she choose education?
The entire.
This is
She
what-
may
okay,
not have a life.
This is the problem I have because I feel like in the original they made it in a way that the older sister had to like step up and be like the mom figure.
Yeah. She
Whereas
definitely.
this one,
100%.
they're like she still stepped up and was the mom figure, but she was still able to go chase her dreams. And I feel like that's actually better.
That's some.
Question, because I now that I'm thinking back to one of the main, like, there's a really important line that's said at the beginning by Lilo in the animated one.
Mhm.
At
Yeah.
the early beginning when she gets sent home because she gets into the fight and for beating up the redheaded girl, and Nani finally gets her to the bedroom, gets her in the bed, and Lilo says, I liked it better when you were my sister, not my mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I remember that was a really rough line to hear because I was like, God damn, that shit hurts. Like the idea that your mom is gone and you have to say to your sister, I don't like that you have to be my mom now. I liked it better when
Yeah.
you were my sister. I was like,
She
that
says
was
it
really
in this one too.
okay. So
Yeah.
I think, and I guess it makes sense if you establish that early on that Lilo actually doesn't want her sister to be her mom, then it makes sense that she goes off.
She does say that in the movie. And I'm just trying to see if this neighbor comes in. I don't remember her in the original one.
I don't think they had.
Probably wasn't there. Like, how are you gonna
No,
just raise this
I-
old lady's blood pressure? Like, what are you-
There was not, because if there was one, they would have been defending when parental services were coming,
Yes,
and there was
exactly.
no such
The,
thing.
Yeah?
the lady that
Yeah.
played the neighbor is the woman who voiced the elderly lady who owned one of the shops that Nanny applies for a job at.
where they do the Elvis thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so she does show up in the series, the cartoon.
Oh no,
series
she
later.
is. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she does show
in
up
the-
in
Yeah.
later.
She
And-
is in the cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
she is
well,
in the
it's a
cartoon.
cartoon.
She is in
But
the
they never
cartoon,
mention she's a neighbor.
but she doesn't. But
Now we're
they
talking
don't
about the
mention.
movie.
Yeah, they don't
Okay,
mention she's a
okay.
neighbor, and she doesn't live with her at the end.
Okay, so what I want to say though is it does make sense in the movie if you were to watch it, because it ends up being, it's not like some random stranger she just gives her to and like makes her
Right.
adopt her. It's not like that. It's like she's her neighbor. She's known them since they were born,
Right.
and it's also the mom of Nani's boyfriend.
Oh, okay, cute.
Failed to mention. Okay, I like that. All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
So there's actually like it makes sense. At
Like
the
there's
end.
family. Yeah.
We are
they're all
family
like
already.
they're like a little family.
Okay.
So in the end, you're like, oh, so like Lilo has more family. It's not just her sister. Like she ends up taking her, and then her sister
Right.
gets to go to school, and still has her family at home that she's gonna come
Okay.
back.
But wait,
to.
wait,
That's
but
kind
wait.
of how.
But you're saying this the person she gave it is Dave's mom, David's mom,
Yes.
and are David and this girl Nani still like a couple in the movie?
Yeah.
It's kind of that's where I'm kind of weirded out, but that's okay.
Why?
Because
You're dating you're dating someone and you're passing your sister off to your current boyfriend's mom.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not wrong. That's weird.
Okay,
Yeah, so when you put it that way,
like I'm just saying.
When you put it that
Not by
way,
blood.
no, I know.
No, but
But
like,
I get what he's saying. Ness, check this out. You have a boyfriend, and your boyfriend leaves his younger brother or younger sibling. Let's not gender. Younger sibling with your mom. Even if y'all grew up next to each other and all this, you would feel that
honest,
comfortable.
If I'm trying to look at it in the perspective of Nani, like
Yeah.
if my parents passed, knock on wood,
Yeah.
and
knock on wood. All of us knock on wood. You at home, knock on wood.
And my sister didn't have like I wanted to go to school and it was hard for me to look after her, but my boyfriend's mom is retired and is like, I can look after her, no problem. I'm gonna be like, I would be grateful. And she's already like family to me. So
Okay, but
you're going off to university where you might meet new boyfriends.
Okay, I was just gonna say. Hold on. Ness, it's beautiful because I'm happy we're all there. We finally got to this page. You are now indebted to this boyfriend in a way that you were like, I can't break up with this nigga.
Yeah.
He annoying as shit. I can't deal with him sometimes.
And he knows that.
Yeah, this man's locked in.
If anything, he's like, I got all sorts of hand, and I'm the guy who's around all the island girls while she's like, it's not a good setup overall.
This nigga out here cheating, being a jerk, and he's just like,
who is the guy that we were saying the other day that you're like, oh, for sure you made the girl cheat? Like,
we're such assholes because we're
Come
immediately
on.
like this.
Guys, it's a
assholes, or we
movie.
just know how a lot of people are opportunists.
The point of a Disney movie is happily ever
Gender
after.
neutral.
Yeah, but the point of
Okay.
I'm saying there's opportunities for
Wait.
girls going to college and the guy staying on the island. There's opportunity.
You're supposed to see it as Nani gets her degree, she comes back, she's a marine biologist, she's successful, she
Dave
lives
gets his
happily
degree.
ever after with Dave, and Lilo and Stitch live happily ever after with them as a family. That's
Dave has discovered he
Dave
likes
gets
men,
married.
women, they, them. Dave is out here in these streets now.
Streets, boy. Yeah, man.
Dave's just like, my mom taking care of your sister. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
On the phone with her. So, Nani, what'd you do last night? Oh, I studied for an exam. What'd you do last night? Oh, I hung out with Emily. Who's Emily? You know. I say nothing.
This is why.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I just want to say one thing. Ness,
We are
your
corrupt.
take, although like
We are corrupt.
Nice.
Ness is not wrong.
no, hold on. Although I appreciate your take,
Love it.
it has to be the most innocent perspective.
But it's a
I've
Disney
ever
perspective.
heard
That's
in my
not, she's
life.
not wrong.
Maybe so, but still, come on. I feel even kids are like,
No, I don't think
She-
so.
Shit, no, honestly, Ness, when you said it, and I was just like, this is like, I get what you're saying, because if, like, as a Disney story, only Disney would write a story in which a girl goes, you know what, I'm going to school, I'm going to leave my little sister with my boyfriend's mom, we spend our whole lives, we know these people, we're all good. Any other film writing this, the boyfriend is a jerk, and it's
If this was HBO, you would not be saying
HBO,
the same thing.
A24,
Netflix,
Neon,
everyone.
every.
Netflix, you could get away with it,
I know
maybe.
this is
but
a
that-
kids movie. Okay, the target audience is like 5 years old.
True. Yeah, true.
Like, this is
yeah, and they're
a
influencing the years
film.
of tomorrow, open relationships. That's how.
No.
Yeah,
this is a coming
polyamory
age
as
You have to get
described
used
by
to it
Disney.
because you can't afford life now. 2 people, you got to have more. This is the
Oh
seed.
This was a coming of age film where it was like about a teenager or
Yeah.
Coming of age is
college.
like, it's so-
Then I would understand a bit more. But in this case,
Yeah.
it's for children. It's to teach them that like you can go to school and do what you want and still come back to your family or whatever. Like, you know, it's not It's not
Yeah,
like
you
oh,
could
you're gonna meet new people and
You could trust your random neighbor to take your siblings.
Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah.
random.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I know.
Run away, chase your dreams, and leave other people take care of your baggage. Never handle any of your shit. Just leave it all behind and go to the next mission.
I won't lie though.
I'm sorry.
I was probably feeling extra sensitive that day, but I cried during the movie a couple
I
times.
mean, yeah.
Well, I
that's
mean,
fair,
it
that's
is.
fair.
It is. You know, one thing.
It's a tearjerker.
You know what?
That was a
I
cute
watched when I watched the original. This is one thing I'll give the original like so much credit. For the first like 20 minutes, I'm like, whatever. What's this film about? And then at some point in time along the way, something happens that pieces everything that has happened so far into a point where it's like, oh, all these things are leading to this thing, and then it all of a sudden throws you down all of these feels, and then it's like the end. You're like, well, screw you, man. That was an intense rush.
That was what it's supposed. That's what it was supposed to do.
Sum it up.
I know, but it's good. I'm saying it's good writing.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
it's
Well,
the
I
best.
liked it, but honestly, like everyone else I heard that watched it didn't
Yeah.
love it. So
Yeah, that's it. I heard a lot of people say they didn't really love it, and that's why I was asking you because I was like, oh,
maybe
I don't
my
know, like
expectations were
I'm
just so low that
no, but I mean,
I was impressed.
like if I'm being fair, Disney has not landed a live action remake at all. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think any of them have. I should Skinny. Let me rephrase. I should say none of the live action remakes have been seen critically or financially as a success. Some people might say they like them. I don't know.
The billion is going to be hard.
But which one is the one you like? Because you made a face when I said that.
Aladdin.
Really? Because I didn't. Ness's
He
face.
looked offended.
Ness's face. Nessa
Oh
looked.
my god! You see that? Like, she wants to like get Skinny out of this place.
Hold
It's
on.
like,
Hold
you
on.
want
Hold
the
on.
last face when
Hold
she
on.
said the thing about
Hold
Will
on.
Ferrell.
Hold on. If you guys are listening to this right now, I need you to pause and go on YouTube and go to the 35-minute mark and start watching back from there, because that whole moment is perfect. It was perfect. The faces, everything, perfect. So
I have a hard time hiding my face.
What do you
that
mean?
is so good.
Aladdin.
What's wrong with Aladdin?
I haven't. I personally
Hey,
haven't
put in the
seen it.
tiger. I'm happy. Actually, okay. I'll ask this about Lilo and Stitch because before I dip, the one thing I care about, I know Captain Gantu is in there and they twitch and whip it or whatever, but okay. Does Lilo bat a redhead girl in the face in the beginning of the movie?
This is another thing people want to know.
Does she bat? I want to see like a ground and pound thumps. Like, does she?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. She pushes her.
Oh.
Yeah.
There were people, I saw people posting if Lilo doesn't go, what did you say, Skinny? Ground and pound?
Yeah.
Ground and pound.
Yeah, I saw people writing, if Lilo doesn't go ground and pound on a redhead, we riot.
Yeah, man.
Like, I was like, wow, y'all, I don't know what that meant, because I hadn't seen the movie yet, so I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay.
You said you did what? Pushes her to the ground, and her this hand goes.
Yeah,
up
I saw,
and
yeah,
down in the
I,
middle.
I don't even think she was a. Was she a redhead?
Yeah, she was a redhead.
in the movie,
No,
the
no,
anime
in the
movie, she's
live
very
action.
redhead.
The glass. Oh, she wasn't even a redhead in the live
Oh,
action?
she's not even
I
a
don't
redhead?
remember. I don't remember in the live action.
Wait,
if she
I
was
think
a
you guys
redhead
are
or not.
harping.
Wait, did they make her a black girl then? Because you know how they be replacing
No.
redheads with black people.
You didn't know
No,
why?
she
Yeah,
wasn't
just
black.
throwing around.
Dave doesn't know. Dave doesn't know. You're not in the group chats, buddy.
Oh, shit.
That's
But
the
yeah,
that.
I remember
Wait,
her like
segregation. I
pushing.
get it.
Sorry, Ness.
Not down.
But anyways,
Okay.
I think you guys should go see it anyway, just
I will.
for funsies.
Do I? Because so I have sources where I might be able to access it already. Do I have to see it in theaters?
No,
Or-
you don't have to see it in theater. No.
You're saying just watch it. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
just
check it out. I'll check it out.
Even like
sources
in
I
the
gotta
background, you know, like I don't think it's.
That's
Yeah.
not a sell.
That's
That's
so
not a
funny.
sell.
I
That
meant-
sounds like you don't like the movie.
Guys, it's
Telling
a kids
some-
movie. It's a kids movie. I'm
That's
just
fair.
saying,
Yeah, she's saying we don't have to pay full attention to a kids movie.
and it's literally the same story.
Yeah, except the ending.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's pretty much the same. Like it's
You-
pretty much.
You
the
take
same.
away Gontu and the whole space battle. That's a lot of the movie.
Wait,
the good
Gontu
part.
is the big guy that's shaped like a whale?
He's the guy chasing.
Wait,
He's the.
Wait, he's in it.
No. The scientist who made Stitch 696 or whatever.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
And the one-eyed guy is there.
Yeah.
But the whole motherfucker who's hunting the both of them, who sends them down to be like, yo, you need to get 626. What are you doing?
Oh.
He's a big alien, like football sized dude.
Yeah, the football ass nigga with the big ship. He's gone.
Yeah.
They cut
He's
him
not
out.
in the movie. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So wait, you're telling me that whole spaceship scene ain't in the movie?
Thank you.
If that's the case,
Wait, so how does the movie?
Right.
How does the movie end then? Like, what do you mean?
complain about the other stuff.
Yeah. I'm now, as someone who just watched,
Yeah.
What the hell?
Skinny telling me that guy's not there changes the whole movie for me because I was like, that's a big part of the movie.
I
Another
actually
reason why-
totally forgot that he's not
Okay,
there.
so I'm saying
Wait,
this-
so who's hunting them?
Nobody.
No, it's the queen or whatever. It's the lady. The
Oh, the,
Oh,
What's her name
give it to
again?
her.
wow.
Oh, okay.
what's her name
Is
again?
there a space chase?
Yes. Oh, a space
Okay.
chase?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like when he
it-
chases.
spaceships.
Oh, Ness's face is telling us everything.
Okay.
Joseph.
So Jumba
It's like
Jatuba is
it's like
in
doing
there.
101 Dalmatians. It's not even one Dalmatian. What the hell's going on?
Okay, it's not exactly like the movie.
Riki's in there. Jakuba's
I'm already
in there.
done.
But but we don't got no Gontu. Okay, and we have
It
the
is-
girl.
I need a refresher because
I'm telling you this.
the original.
There's so many of these movies. So
I almost wasn't gonna watch the original before I watched the live action because I was like, oh, maybe I could watch it
But
after
wait
and
a
be like,
minute. You guys
Every-
only saw the original like a week ago, so
it doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
matter.
yeah.
We still have the
Like-
critical. We still have the knowledge of the base of what we need to.
well, not
judge.
Skinny. I get Ness. I get what you're saying. You can throw that shade at me. I'll take it. But
Mine was
Skinny,
2 months ago.
Skinny has seen it. And
17
you're-
times and counting.
no,
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
has-
saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Uh,
I just meant
My
like
daughter's favorite
I just
movie.
meant
Like,
give it a
poster.
chance.
I will. I still.
It was
I'm just
still
saying.
enjoyable, even though it
Yeah,
wasn't.
no
the
doubt.
original is still gonna be the best for sure.
Yeah.
It's
It is
it's
surp-
definitely the best. But for a live action, I enjoyed it more than every other Disney live action.
So
Well,
I
yeah.
gotta say something.
Oh,
about
that's not
Disney
good.
Live action.
The face you made for Aladdin implies that you don't like the live actions, but I'll let Dave finish.
I'm gonna just say one thing. Every time, so the only one I ever saw.
I'm gonna turn the
was-
spoilers off, by the
was
way.
Lion King. I saw Lion King, and I was like, I just didn't. I was like,
Oh, I still
it
didn't see that
wasn't
one.
horrible, but I was just like, it's not. Sorry,
Yeah, I didn't see that one either.
It wasn't horrible. I was like, whatever. But every time someone talks about any live action film, I get so much motive. Like I have not watched. I'm not watching this one now just because of what you guys are talking about. I'm not watching Aladdin just because of your face. Of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you-
Wait,
you
what?
did
You're not
there.
gonna watch Lilo?
I'm not going to watch Lilo based off of what you guys are saying now. I'm not watching
I'm
Aladdin
gonna
because
watch
of
it.
your reaction before.
Already
I
said
haven't watched what's it called, Little Mermaid, because of everyone's like
Yeah.
hating on all the CGI around it. I'm like, that's a shame because the girl
No,
looked like she probably killed it.
that. And
But-
she has a beautiful singing voice.
yeah,
so.
exactly.
He
And I was
did
like,
kill it, but the movie was.
yeah,
Beauty
I
and the
have to
Beast.
watch
is
Jungle
looking
Book.
Beauty.
Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but
did
that's
well.
like the original one of the live
Oh!
actions, right?
Mulan live action was actually kind of dope though. Some of them fight
Never
scenes
saw
are
that.
badass.
That was good. And they got
Because the
dragon.
Mulan one does some Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon shit, and I was like, that's badass.
I rather finally see that movie.
They cut out Moshu though.
Yeah, that's true. They do it.
The dragon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moshu's not there.
How they do
What
that?
the-
Moshu's not there because remember,
I didn't see the movie. I'm upset about.
remember, Mulan is actually like
Stories.
is like Joan of Arc story. Like it's like a traditional Chinese story about a girl who does this thing.
No, I know.
And the original doesn't have a dragon in it, or if it does, it doesn't have it in that way. So,
Yeah, but it's I don't know.
so they stuck closer to the original, from what I understand.
Yeah, but that's like saying, okay, let's make Snow White a horror film because the original thing that
You're not
was
wrong
based
though,
on-
but that's what I'm saying. Like, yes,
okay.
there's some people who would be like, yeah, like people have done that, so I'm not shocked. Okay, yo, this conversation on Disney was crazy,
Can I-
crazy.
Real quick, I'll cut in because I know I'm coming.
Okay,
Yes, I will. So I'll just say I will to speak on Snow White real quick. So I saw Hornswoggle on Chris Van Vliet, which is like a podcast talks to wrestlers. And when Peter Dinklage went out and did his thing,
oh yeah, I saw that.
dwarves thing, Hornswoggle was like, "Nah, man, that guy." He's like, so many jobs lost.
Yeah.
Look,
I did
he's
hear
like,
about that.
This idiot. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
did
care
hear
if it was a
about
trash movie. I don't care. You know how much money I didn't make? All of it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like,
I did-
Boy.
I did hear that conversation because Peter Dinklage, and that like it's so interesting, like that conversation that Peter Dinklage and who's the other guy you're talking about?
Hornswoggle and
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle. He played he was like a little person wrestler, but in WWE he was played
Okay.
Vince McMahon's son. But yeah.
But the reason that that's so interesting is because it's a class conversation. Because Peter Dinklage has a lot of money and can say from a position of wealth, like, I don't want to see myself represented as a dwarf in Snow White anymore. But other actors who don't have that position can be like, it's the same way that some people would say, and when it comes to black films, oh, I don't think men should be in dresses, black men should be in dresses or effeminate in these movies. And then you have these other actors who are just like, Big Mama's House made Martin Lawrence millions of dollars and bought him a house, so fuck you, I'm gonna make that movie. You know what I mean? So
run me that. Yeah.
Tyler Perry has a whole studio. And that's a lot of money for people to be like, yeah, I don't think black men should wear dresses. It's just like,
all that shit is Medea money, nigga. Like, what the
fuck? So there you go, Dinklage and all these other
about white chicks.
Oh, dude, I don't want to start that because I don't like white chicks, but people have a whole thing.
I've never seen it because I was like, I don't
like white. This film. I don't like white chicks, but a lot of people like white chicks.
It wasn't that funny, but it wasn't that offensive.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be super offensive.
No, it's not. No, it's
midpoint. The Wayans brothers know how to coast on that line.
Yeah. For me, the most offensive part is the idea that those two guys in white makeup look like the two girls that they're replacing. That's the offensive part. Because when I watched the movie, I remember thinking like, yo, the suspension of disbelief to watch white girls is worse than Superman. Like, a man can fly. Like, it is crazy. Like, it's insane. Yes, there's a girl on a yellow brick road. Like, the amount of things, like, I'm like, every other thing makes more sense than those two, Sean and Marlon, were pretending to be these two white girls and getting away with it. But anyway.
Big old shoulders. Oh my goodness, man.
Oh my god, they look like linebackers in girls. Like, it's crazy. Oh my god.
We used to get away with in 2000.
The premise is insane if you look back. Anyways, yeah. I love the insane tangents this has taken. Oh boy.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Snow White. Dope. Thanks, Skinny. That was a good take.
Okay. That being said, I will see you guys later. I gotta go.
Peace, Skinny.
Yeah.
Later.
Lilo and Stitch live action, people, definitely, if you want to, go check it out, and if you don't, you know what, leave your comments, give us your feedback. We're open to it. Dave.
So going on the Rick and Morty train.
Woo! Animation, but for adults.
Yes. Going that now. See, if that scene now was done now, you'd be all offended. But because it was from Disney, it was okay. What we were talking about before.
Which scene?
The one we were talking about before. You said they got away with it because it was Disney.
I don't even remember.
the because his mom adopts Lilo.
Oh yeah, the officer were like, oh, it's all cool because it's family now. It was done in Rick and Morty.
In Rick and dude,
completely different
obviously that's different.
In Rick and Morty,
yes,
in Rick and Morty,
no,
it's not double standard.
Like, Rick has left dead bodies with people. Like, they're so crazy. Like, the show's so insane.
I mean, just to talk about parenting skills. So the first episode where he's penal. So the first episode of the season is you find out that Morty and his sister Summer were getting in trouble because they stole like a charger or something.
By the way, the voices of Rick, Morty, and Summer are going to be at Comic-Con. Just for that quick reminder.
Cool.
They're trapped in like some type of like simulation for like to the point that they're
in the Matrix. They call it the Matrix.
Essentially
they literally call it the Matrix. Yeah.
Till they're like, I don't know, in their 40s or something like that, and then they get ripped out. So now they're children, but with like as if they have like
they've lived
capacity of an adult type thing.
They've lived to 40 and they're now in their like children bodies again.
Yeah. And the whole episode, you saw it.
I did.
And what is it? Did you enjoy?
No.
So,
I Rick and Morty, it just doesn't do it for me anymore, guys. Listen, I've been saying fuck Dan Harmon for years.
Yeah.
We've been saying it on this podcast. It used to be the sign off of this podcast at one point. That's how much we were over Dan Harmon. So, to see Rick and Morty be what it was in season 1 and 2, the cherished golden era of the show, and to get to season 8 and to just feel like they're rehashing lazy stories, and because they've already done this.
Which one did they do this?
They've already done this thing where he locks them in a matrix, or he locks them, or they get stuck in a thing and grow. The whole episode where they go to that arcade on the planet and Morty gets stuck in the thing and lives a whole life.
Yeah, they did that.
They've done this thing already.
They did it for like 2 seconds, whereas this is like going into the
that's
more deep dive.
You're making my point for me. If you do a joke once on a show and then you decide, you know what? That joke works so well. Let's do a full episode about that joke. That doesn't impress me. That
I don't
don't,
know. I thought it was a
as
good
Shania
episode.
Twain would say, that don't impress me much.
Oh Lord.
That's all I'm saying. But no, honestly,
I can't even.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I don't
I-
even want to like
That starting off the season with that story, that episode feels more like a middle of the season type episode. I would have liked something that started off a little stronger and a little more, in my opinion, pull me into the characters again because I haven't seen them for a bit. Because I didn't care that Morty was crazy. Morty always goes crazy because of things that Rick's done to him.
I just thought it was an interesting overall story about how they got out and why and what Summer did.
The only thing that was good about, I'll say, my favorite part was the Summer stuff. Finding out that Summer was manipulating everything and that she was like
Using her
brother. That is Summer. You could tell Summer has Rick's blood.
Yeah.
Like
No,
that
we
is.
didn't do this.
Because
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is that.
Oh yeah, you haven't watched this episode yet,
No.
but you're watching the
What?
older
Is
season.
this like a new? Yeah. Is this a new
Season-
episode?
Season
Season
8, episode 1.
Season
So
8.
the new season is starting.
Okay.
Don't worry, like so much. Since
No,
you're
it's
catching
okay,
up,
I'm-
so much will happen that you'll forget this
Yeah, no
conversation.
worries.
Yeah,
And then,
true.
Like not, but like all I'm trying to say is like I understand that like I understand your point about okay, there's like repetition, but I find like it's like saying, oh, we're watching Star Trek. They got to another planet and they're interacting.
Not
with
the same thing.
It is the same thing.
No,
There's-
'cause
let me finish. Let
No,
me
because
fin-
you're
oh,
trying to change my point.
No,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
not
let you
trying-
finish. You're changing my point.
I'm not
I'm
trying to
saying
change
if
the
you
point.
use a joke, a specific joke, the whole premise of Star Trek is exploring. Of course, they're gonna go to a different planet. That's not
but
the
the
same
whole
thing as
premise-
saying you made a joke that was a bad joke, and then the joke in your head was good. So you do an extended version of that joke.
But what it is like it's to show how crazy Rick is to his family, which is
Yes.
what they always do. That's
You're
all they
right.
do. So this is just an extension of this is how fucked up it can get. I know it's not a good one.
Okay,
Like I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
I will stop
I'm not
that.
saying-
You're saying if you understand that it's not a good one, I'll leave it at that.
I'm not disacknowledging the concept of what you're saying.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But what at the same time, it's like it's like watching South Park and be like, oh, they did another fart joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you
so-
have to like that type of shtick.
So
You know what I mean?
it's interesting because so in your head, Rick mistreating them is such a commonplace to the story that any version of that, you're just like, yeah, that's what he does. For me, I've seen like watching the show has actually processed the fact that Rick mistreats them, and he's actually gotten better
Of course.
about that. And the fact that the season starts with him seemingly like regressing into doing something like that, because I feel like he hasn't done something like that in a while.
Well,
That's why.
what-
Or in that version, I should say.
Well, what I'm trying to say is more like I think that they have tropes, right? Like example, they have
Yeah.
the when they go through all the TV
Yeah.
all the time,
Or
right?
the yeah.
or they do an episode about like for a while it was Birdman and then it
Yeah.
was Pee-Pee Butthole or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? To show an episode where you pushed Rick to the point that he was pissed off at you, so he punished you.
Yeah.
Yes, he hasn't done that in a while, but there is also the concept of the reminder that Rick is a dick, and they always have an episode every season
Yeah.
where he is really mean to the family.
And I did say I'd be open to this being in the middle of the
course.
season because it felt like a bad way to start the
Well,
season.
it's because one could also argue it could have been the ending of the season because, like, for
Sure,
example,
yeah.
there's been times where, example, at the end of one of the seasons, it was like he screwed over Morty or something like that, and he's like, "We're gonna even do it more and more." Like, you know,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
so-
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
like that's just this thing, but doing it at the beginning as opposed to
Yeah.
the end or the middle. It's just like the second episode, which is an episode where, we don't know if it's the real Beth, like his daughter, if it's
Right.
the clone daughter, but
Right.
the clone daughter would still be related to him. She's out in space and she's in like a bind, and he goes out and like helps her out.
yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh my god, it's Rick!" That's a trope episode. They have adventure episodes.
I
You
would
know what
say
mean?
though, I would have liked it better if the season started on that episode.
Oh, I wouldn't
Because showing an episode where Rick has to deal with clone Beth or real Beth, Space Beth. I'll call her Space
Yeah.
Beth because that's where the character is most of the time. Seeing Rick deal with Space Beth and actually trying to be a good father after we saw the episode where Beth was taken to the other dimension and left there with the like, and one of the kids got lost there, and you find out all this history about why Beth is messed up the way she is, and finding out all that growth from Rick, and then starting the season off with an episode where Rick and Space Beth, who don't have a good relationship because she doesn't even like the idea that that's her father, are working together, to me, showed growth. But you know what I'm realizing right now? As I'm saying all of this, we're actively talking in-depthly about Adult Swim TV series, about a bunch of people who go through space holes and have a character called like Poopy Butthole. So I digress when I think I'm trying to do a really deep reading on Rick, realizing maybe I shouldn't.
Well, we have acknowledged before that there's been times that they mismanaged the management of the order of episodes. Even like a season or two before, we were like, this episode was horrible at this time, etc.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
So I agree, because in the sense of like, if you know what it would have been if the episode would have happened, like the Beth episode, and then the last, like the cutscene that they have after the credits was something about like while they were away, and they
borrowed the
exactly, and then you jumped into this episode. That would have been epic. You know what I mean?
would have, and then this episode wouldn't have bothered me as much, because then you're juxtaposing Rick getting better with Rick being like his
being
usual
annoyed
self,
and being pissed.
as opposed to starting back the season with Rick not seeming like he has any growth, and then giving me an episode where it seems he has all the growth, because she calls him and he's in a bar and he immediately goes to help her, which is not like Rick at all. No. Like, Ness, you're watching the show right now. Would you ever expect that Rick would drop everything to help someone?
Definitely
one of his
not.
family members specifically, because he doesn't really necessarily love any of his family members.
Based on the show you're watching right now, he's one of the most selfish people you've ever seen.
100%.
Narcissistic. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Narcissistic. Egomaniac. You know.
What season are you on, actually?
I don't even know. Greg watches it, and I'm just there.
Can you tell me, like, do you remember like the last episode you saw? Could you describe any of it?
Morty's mom.
Yeah.
The wife.
Yeah.
is like hooking up with her clone.
Oh yes,
okay. So season. She's caught up.
Yeah. You're pretty far ahead, because that's a recent episode.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Greg is probably like, I don't know if he's actually on that season or if he just clicked on a random season. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's funny. Speaking of the clone, that's who we're talking about in the episode. The clone is Rick drops everything to help her immediately.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't give, and you've seen how he acts with both of them.
Yeah.
Recently. So to you, you've seen it, and it's just like you wouldn't expect him to be this type of person all the time.
So is this the episode I watched? Is that in season 7?
If we're in season 8, then that would be season 7 for sure.
I don't remember the order of heart, so
yeah, because it wasn't that long ago, and when it's like, if I'm not mistaken, in season 6, she's introduced near the end, like the character herself,
the
clone Beth,
and
then it's the next season where that happens, because if I'm not mistaken, one of them's upset. They end up like trying to comfort each other, and then that happens.
It develops into like a twin-cest, clone-cest situation.
It's weird. But you know, one thing I will really say weird. This about
my God, this show.
Well, one thing
I'm trying to have a deep understanding of Rick Sanchez, and then we have cut to 2 minutes later. Yeah, so the twin-cest clone storyline.
But honestly, the show is so ridiculous. Like
it is. But the only thing about the show now is like, I feel like the first, like, let's say the first 4 seasons, it was like, I don't want to say must watch, but it really grabbed you and made you want to watch. Now I feel it's kind of gone a little bit like, it's just in the Rolodex. It's not. It's like how whoever's still watch The Simpsons. If you watch The Simpsons when you're younger, you were watching because you loved it. If you still watch it now, it's just because you're not necessarily like you like being kept up to date. It's like going through the motions almost to a certain degree.
You know what? Honestly, that makes me think we should do a podcast or like maybe a special edition called The Cutoff, where it's like you pick like every show that's run too long. Where should you cut it off? Because the other day I was watching something and someone was just like this older person was talking about like, oh, I have kids now and they're young and I want to introduce them to SpongeBob. You Gen Zs who watch SpongeBob and grew up on it, where should I tell them, like, what should they watch? And all the Gen Zs were just like, season 9, season 10, stop right there. Don't watch anymore. And I was like, oh, wow, that's very interesting. So it's like The Simpsons. after the movie, stop. Like Rick and Morty after a certain point. Like there's a bunch of stuff that I'd be like, cut. So Law and Order, SVU.
Gee, that's a long one.
There's a couple stops along the way there. Anyways, but yeah.
But you can even do that about certain seasons that are even over. Like, for example...
that seasons that run too long.
Well, example, Sons of Anarchy. It was like season 5. Like,
let's not even.
We don't need any
whole other conversation.
You know?
But so
actually, no, season 7 is the definitive one because season 7 was absolutely useless. It should have been done in 2 episodes. You elongated 2 episodes into an entire season.
That's so funny.
It's ridiculous.
So your thoughts on Rick and Morty season 8?
So far, like I said, like
2 episodes in.
2 episodes in, you could argue maybe the order, but I just think it's, if you like this shtick, like you continue. It's like It's Always Sunny, right? Like Always Sunny is funny. If you like that shtick and you like that stuff, you'll probably watch it till the end. But at some point in time, if you've seen so much of it, you might get to a point where you're like, oh, this is just, it is what they're doing. They're being assholes again. They're being racist without knowing again. They're doing all these things without knowing again. It's
honestly, I used to listen to their podcast because I was very interested in hearing them readdress some of the things they do in the show. And there's so many times where they're just like, we couldn't make this episode now. And I'm like, yeah, there's a bunch of shows now where some of the themes and some of the stuff that people discuss and touch on, you're like, good God, you really got to think about what you guys were. I don't even know if you were supposed to be doing that type of comedy then. I just think you were able to get away with it because no one said anything. But
well, it's just like there's that infamous Seinfeld episode of like, that's gay, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like that episode, the only reason why you could watch that episode today and not be offended is because they realized the timelessness of their show and that episode. And they're like, we want people to rewatch it because it's a funny episode. The misunderstanding of what is happening is comedic gold, but we have to do it in a way that no one will be. And it really does feel like,
like Rick and Morty and all these other shows are trying to make a comment, and that Seinfeld episode is trying to make a comment that's very good because the idea is, we're not offended that you think we're gay. We just don't want you to think we're in a relationship because we want to sleep with you. Yeah, like that's the actual lesson of the episode, which is very interesting. There are other episodes of Seinfeld that are problematic, but we won't talk about that.
Like the girl's literally called Lois, and he's like, she's a reporter named Lois. He loves Superman. It's his ideal woman, and she thinks that he's gay, and she's getting a news story about it. And she actually forgives him at one point because she's like, okay, no, I understand the miscommunication.
But by then
then they go on a date, and then something happens, and it again just looks like it. And she's like, I've had enough of this.
But not even just that. Doesn't George show up and pretend to be?
No, that's what I'm saying. At the end, like one person's freedom from the truth is another person's trap into a bad situation, and it's comedic gold. But the whole thing is that it's hard to make that joke without offending people. So the fact that the whole episode, anytime they use it, they say that, I'm like, that's comedic gold there.
Larry David is a very talented writer.
Well,
I'll never watch his show, but
oh god,
my buddy is probably like, I just got a message now. My buddy's probably annoyed that I never watch it because he's always telling me. Okay, so that's our take on Rick and Morty, guys. I'm going to talk about Doctor Who a little bit. I don't tend to talk about Doctor Who often.
Dr. Boo.
Okay, I'm not going to do it. Doctor Who is a multi-million, if not billion-dollar franchise that literally Disney paid big sums of money to have access to.
Trump's rich too. I don't see you supporting.
That's not the same thing. Not the same thing. Global fans are begging for more Doctor Who. Literally, no one wants more Trump. Anyways,
I mean, they still are making Rick and Morty episodes.
Yeah, that's because they have a weird contract for 10 seasons that they signed years ago. I think Adult Swim made a mistake, and I said it then, and I'll say it now. Anyways, Doctor Who season 15, but technically or not because they rebooted the number counting, which, like, as a comic book thing, always offended me. I kind of hate when people do that. But anyways, they've done it. They started back. Ncuti Gatwa from Sex Ed was the most recent Doctor. He played the Doctor as a gay character, which was very interesting because the Doctor never really... I mean, the Doctor always had his love interest with his companions. That's kind of always a thing. Eccleston and Rose were very close, but Eccleston kind of wasn't... I don't know. The relationship between Eccleston and Rose was unique, but Tennant and Rose actively was like a romantic relationship. And we continued now to all through all these people: Eccleston, Tennant, Matt Smith, Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker, and then you found out you had the War Doctor and you had the Lost Doctor, and now you have Ncuti's Doctor, and you had Tennant technically come back with. Anyways, we won't even talk about that. I didn't really like how they did that, and this like. I don't know. The regeneration of the Doctors, how they got away with, the original Doctor was started to develop Alzheimer's, couldn't remember his lines. He was on set. It was a problem. And the show was so popular. They're just like, we can't give up on this show. So they figured out a way to do it where they do regeneration and the Doctor can die and come back. And that gets introduced. And the Doctor only had a certain amount of regenerations. And that was part of it. Like, he can only regenerate a certain amount of times. And then you get all the way to him meeting his last time. And of course, they find some loopholes so that they can continue to writing the show. But here we are. We now have a black gay Doctor who wears kilts and skirts and in episodes and slays doing it, looks fantastic, is fantastic in the story, has his companion is kind of like this out of time girl with a weird story in season 1, and season 2 is this very young, attractive South Asian Indian doctor woman who needs to get home. And the story goes on. We get 1 season, we get 2 seasons, and spoiler alert, motherfuckers. I'm going to put it on the screen before I say it because I was very annoyed. Let me just put it on the screen. Spoiler alert. The Doctor dies again. 2 seasons. One of the shortest runs of the Doctor. Because, Eccleston only had 1 season, but that's because he had a horrible experience being on the show and wanted out. David Tennant had multiple seasons. Matt Smith, multiple seasons. Capaldi, multiple seasons. Jodie Whittaker, not as many seasons as everyone else, but solid storytelling with her stuff. And then Ncuti, 2 seasons. Only 2 seasons. And that really bothers me because one of the things I was saying to my partner, and I've said it to a bunch of friends when I talk about Doctor Who, every Doctor, in my opinion, because they had multiple seasons, got to do seasons that focused on a particular story with a companion and then a particular story with this, and then they got to focus on the Doctor a little bit. They did it with Tennant. They did it with Matt Smith. They did it with Capaldi. They did a lot with Capaldi, actually, because Capaldi had a very, Capaldi's story also connected to, his wife and his love and all this different stuff. And they did some really beautiful stories with Capaldi that were more in-depth about the Doctor. They got to flesh out stuff. Jodie got some good stuff, too. She had love interests, all that jazz. And then you get to Ncuti, who had a whole season about one blonde, blue-eyed girl, and then the whole season about this Indian girl, and never got his own focus thing. He had 1 episode where he talked about, and this was something I actually was really hoping we would get a little bit more of. He talked about being a black man as the Doctor, traveling through time, and not feeling welcomed everywhere. Because all the other seasons with the Doctor, he was a white guy, and in the last one, he was a white woman. Every other version, he felt more comfortable in time on Earth because that's where he tends to do most of his time traveling. In this, now we had a black gay Doctor, and we have him traveling through time, and it's obvious that he's going to feel out of sorts and out of place. And they have 1 episode that is set in Africa that has references to Anansi, the spider god, that tells this beautiful story. And one of the things is the Doctor has to tell a story, and it starts explaining why he feels so at home there. Because as someone who looks different now, the only place he felt as comfortable as possible was here in Nigeria. And that episode was beautiful. I almost teared up because it was so great to see the idea that you could live multiple lives and feel comfortable everywhere, not even think about it. And the second you become a black man, after you were a white woman, because even she had issues because, there were people who dismissed her because she was a woman. And then you're a black man, so you're getting dismissed there too. You talk about feeling at home, safe and comfortable, a safe space. I know some people hate that term, but it really is a thing and it needs to exist. And he talks about that. And that episode is so good. And within 3 episodes, finale, he's gone. He's dead. I was like, I was so mad. I was so mad, y'all. And I tried to hold back, but I was just my poor partner had to be rolling her eyes they all die. And I'm like, I get it, but come on. So to all the fans out there of Doctor Who, I mean, we are very excited for what happened. I don't want to spoil that ending because if you're a fan of Doctor Who from all the way from the Eccleston years till now, the way they ended it and the surprise that they give you at the end of it is wild. Like, it's a throwback to like some OG shit that you're like, oh, this is insane that we are getting this. So we'll see. And we're going to also have to wait because the damn Doctor Who seasons take so fucking long. We'll probably get we might get a Christmas special because they usually have a Christmas special every year. So we'll probably get a Christmas special, but that's my rant.
How can you have a Christmas special without a doctor?
Well, no, you do have a doctor. The doctor dies and regenerates. That's what
I know. Oh, so you're saying there would be a Christmas...
The Christmas special would be with the regenerated doctor, whoever. Yeah, the new doctor. Which is usually actually... That's actually a thing that happens pretty often. Like quite a few of the regenerations happened either around the Christmas time. Like I think there's one regeneration that happens at the end of a season. There's a Christmas special where the doctor has to like find his footing, and then the beginning of the season is now after he's found his footing in the Christmas episode. He goes on and you get a full season. So it's kind of a nice way to not have to. You kind of get a transition episode.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get a transition episode. I want to put a theory out there that what we're seeing, because the doctor, I can say this.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, because a lot of people won't know, and I might toss back the spoiler on the screen real quick. The doctor regenerates into one of his former companions.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what you see in the episode?
Yeah, you see him regenerate at the end, and he regenerates into the face of one of his former companions.
So when that suggests that that's the actor or actress that is now going to be the new doctor going forward?
That's it.
Shit.
That's what it would suggest. So an actor who played a companion coming back to play the doctor would be...
He loves and misses that person. Maybe.
It would be the first time, and it would be very interesting to see.
Damn.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I don't know much about this show, and I will also further say that my feelings towards the show is I don't think people are stupid for watching or anything like that. But like when people are like, "Oh yeah, you're talking about wrestling," that's my thing about Doctor Who. Like it's just not.
I mean, you've never watched it, so
sure, but like when people say that about wrestling, they haven't been watching it for.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Have they ever watched wrestling? Because again, you're giving me two different things.
I'm just
you literally never watched an episode, and these people have watched and have changed their opinion.
I get when people make that comment,
I would say those two
is how I feel that I sound when I make comments about not being into this show.
You specifically sound like they sound for that.
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to say it's my comparison.
That's
but
fair.
that is probably the first time that someone said something, because I do know a lot of people who like the show and who've tried to convince me to watch the show and have told me a lot about this show.
Yeah.
And it's fallen on deaf ears 1,000 times over. All due respect. Because we just talked about it. But I won't lie, that is actually something that sounds interesting, because I know a lot that the interactions with their
the companions are a pretty big part of the story. So for a companion to for the doctor to die and regenerate as a companion is very interesting. Now, is it going to be the companion, and will they have the memories of the? I don't know. There's so many things that I have no clue what's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting. Most of the companions have been women over the years too, so it's I'll say this: we're getting another female doctor. So yeah, I'm just very interested in seeing.
Imagine it's some multiverse thing or a time travel thing, where he's actually going back to help himself out.
Well, dude. That first of all, that would be super cool. But also, there's already some stuff they've done that I don't really like. The way they ended before Ncuti comes on, so you have Jodie, who has her full season. She dies, quote unquote, and regenerates. When she regenerates as David Tennant, who was the doctor years ago. So she regenerates as an old doctor, which never happens. Then Tennant dies. And when he dies, instead of dying, they create a new thing now called bi-regeneration, where instead of regenerating, he splits into two.
Okay.
So there's two doctors, and I didn't like that.
The same, like two tenants?
No, there's a Tennant and there's Ncuti.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just seems like a
And I
different
did-
way of replicating.
Yeah, and I didn't love it, and it was a weird thing they did, and it was how they introduced Ncuti, and I was actually really offended because I was just like, you finally gave us a black doctor, and he still has to share the universe with the white guy who was doing it before.
I hate to say this, that sounds like some people weren't confident in their choices.
Oh, probably not.
That's all
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
gonna lie. Of course, I don't. After going from a white man like Peter Capaldi, who's a very good actor, to a white woman, Jodie Whittaker, who did a very good job, but got lambasted and criticized a lot more than anyone else because she's a woman. I'm sure they were concerned about going to a black man right away because if I'm producing the show and Disney is now throwing Disney money at me, and some of the fans are really having kind of negative reaction. And again, we know what kind of fans are having a negative reaction, and I wish we wouldn't give 2 cents to those fans because those are the same fans who are probably bootlegging your show. Like, let's be honest. Because the diehards are out there, they're buying your stuff. These are the same fans that are in chat rooms in their basements all the time. The two are not the same. But I digress. You guys think they're important for some reason, so do you. But yeah, so they had to go to Tennant first. They did a bunch of episodes with Tennant. Tennant talks about being a better person, having worked on himself. Like the doctor is no longer how broken and sad and depressed he was before. Tennant kind of gives you a shine of how the doctor could be and then splits into Ncuti. And Ncuti's version of the doctor is a much more emotionally in tuned and emotionally intelligent person. Like this is a doctor who says, I love you. Whereas the other doctors would do things like leave people on planets.
Damn.
That's yeah. That's the whole show, mes amis. Guys, that was everything. We have an event. We have an event coming. The event is going to be launching. We don't have it right here, right now, but we're going to have it not on the screen. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to put the flyer up. Oh wait, actually, can I do it through my Facebook? I just realized I could probably do it through my Messenger. So we're going to put that on the screen. I should be able to.
Check it out, y'all. June 21st, 4 p.m. at Colors MTO.
What's the address?
4710 Saint Ambroise, Unit 120.
Bong da bong da bong da bong da. I'm really excited because the fact that we've done this many episodes feels almost crazy. Like when I started off by saying 414, I think is what I said.
Yeah,
something like this.
And what you said.
That feels nuts to when I think about it. But we're gonna share this on the screen right now for you guys. We've been like working and like talking and trying to figure this out for the longest time. We're all really excited for this. It's been a long time coming, and we are just really excited to just do something and hang out with you guys because, like we've said it many times before. Y'all are really the fans and the people that made the show fun to continue doing every single week over the last multiple years. So now that we're over 400 episodes, it's over 400. Free food, free drink, free haircuts, which is a big deal. First come, first serve system. So you guys are gonna have to show up early if you want, and then we're gonna have a link to the event, and it's a donation based, so we're asking if you guys can donate. Suggested donation of $5, but don't feel that you have to donate what you can, and come through and spend some time with us. We really do look forward to seeing you guys there. And guys, that's the whole show. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another one, and we'll be back with another episode soon. Anything you guys want to tell the people other than the event coming up? No?
Fuck Dan Harmon, I guess.
Yeah, fuck Dan Harmon. Yeah, bringing it back. It's back, baby! We're out, y'all.
Everyone.
Peace, y'all.